Changes are coming to Arizona high school football playoffs, but for AZ Audibles, we have our usual cast of characters. Eric Sorensen, Devin Henry, I'm Jordan Ham. So with this open division that has come about, the top 8 teams in the state, no matter their division from 4A to 6A, will be going head-to-head, and then the rest of the divisions will be playing with the teams that are still in that division. Devin, what are your thoughts on this new format?
I love it. I love it. I love it. We've been waiting for this. I've said it for a long time. Who wouldn't love to see, let's go back past 2-3 years, Chandler versus Saguaro, or Chandler versus Centennial, or Centennial versus Saguaro? We might get that now. We might legitimately get the 2 best teams in the state, regardless of enrollment, free and reduced lunches, whatever. We might just get the top 2 teams in the state playing out for not just a class state championship, but the state championship. Now, let's not get confused or anything. People still aren't going to be happy because we had to find out how to take how many hundred schools and say, these are the best 8. So you're going to still get schools saying we got robbed. But on top of that, even if you think you should be in that 8 and you're not, if you're in the 4A conference, no more Saguaro, no more South Point. That
Presumably.
gives you, presumably, if it was this year, yes, thank you. But now you have a better opportunity to go out and win your conference state championship as well. I think that this benefits not only whatever 8 are selected to be in this major 8 teams, but it also helps out other squads who are going to now have the ability to go deeper into the season as well.
I agree with you. I think that this is a great decision. It's not going to be perfect. Adjustments will be need to be made. But when you look at last year's 4A, 5A, and 6A division, the average margin of victory in those postseason games was 28 points. For the 6 teams that made it to the state title for the second straight year, that margin of victory was 35 points. The very top versus the rest of the field, there's a big gap right now. So I think that opening that up, not only in the top 8, but the rest of the divisions is a really good move. And for those people that are maybe clamoring for, well, why don't you just go head-to-head at the beginning of the year? We've seen how teams can change over the course of 10 weeks, whether it be transfers becoming eligible or just finding your rhythm. So if you have a Centennial Saguaro matchup like we did a couple years ago in week 0, both of those teams were very good, but they were very different come playoff time.
No doubt.
And you have more out-of-state opponents now. So that's taking usually 1 or 2 weeks of the schedule so you can go up against the best of the best, not only in the state, but the country. So I think that this is a great move. Like I said, it's not going to be perfect. Adjustments will be needed to be made, but I've seen David Hines continue to make adjustments here and there throughout the process that I think they can fine-tune this over the coming years.
One thing Hines has referenced quite a few times is competitive balance. We saw it with realignment. He wanted to make the regular season games more attractive and more competitive. And I think going in this direction with this Elite 8 group of teams, he's on the right track with that. So credit the AIA. This is groundbreaking. I mean, they really wanted to make a splash, and certainly they are going to make a splash. Couple concerns I have. I talked to some coaches. Say you're one of the top 6A schools and you're in the Elite 8. You beat, during the regular season, a team that goes on to win the 6A state championship, essentially taking the easier path. I don't think that's going to sit well with some of the coaches because there is a little injustice in all that. Secondly, I also have to wonder if we're going to see blowouts between 1 and 8 in those Elite 8 games. But I have to agree with both of you. I mean, we want to see the top teams play the other top teams regardless of classification. And I know a lot of those schools feel the exact same way.
To your point about the top 8 teams not being able to play in the state championships within their conference, I get the feeling it would be viewed kind of like the college football playoff, where it's you're one of the 4.
Exactly.
And that's all these teams care about throughout the year. They want to be one of the 8. And then I think that also means that every game in the regular season also matters now, because you're not just trying to get a top 4 seed within your division so you can have home field advantage kind of throughout for the most part. Now it's the top 8 for 3 divisions. So all of a sudden, that competitive drive continues, and it's really going to be plenty of debate for us. So I know that we're going to love that as well.
You see it at the college level. You see the Final Four banners. In college baseball, you see the College World Series appearances.
Totally.
Yep.
So that is definitely a good point you made about that, because that is sort of like an elite status to be one of those 8
Sure.
teams.
Well, let's make everyone happy. New banner in the gym, guys. If you're in the
that's it. Hey, that's a
boom,
great
right there,
point, honestly.
Elite 8 appearance.
Is that how it's going to be?
I mean...
Because it is a great
want
accomplishment.
credit.
I mean, you're one of the best teams, regardless of
Period.
where you are, what your enrollment is, what your schedule is. That's That's a huge accomplishment.
And teams are going to be upset that maybe they only play 1 week of the tournament, whereas they would have played 4. But at the end of the day, I think everyone is at least a little bit happier than we were in the past when we look towards this fall.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of changes, a lot of adjustments over the coming years, and plenty of debate, which is great for us.
Always. That's what keeps it going.
It's our favorite.
So make sure, as these new rules get implemented and the season gets closer, make sure to keep it to AZ Audibles each and every week on Sports 360 AZ.